What's up, 360 electricians? In this video, hey, I want to show you the things that I did in my house, and these are things that I think you should be upselling to your clients, especially on spec homes. Let's get into the video. All right, so when I decided I'm going to build my own house here in Montana, there were some things that I definitely wanted because it fits my lifestyle. The first is we're in the YouTube studio. Josh is filming right now, but in the YouTube studio over here is also our offices for the YouTube channel. And I run my brick and mortar in California from here in Montana. Now, the great news is that we're actually might be opening up a brick and mortar here in Montana. So again, this will be the office for right now for the company until we get a warehouse. So what I wanted to do is add sub panels. Why did I add sub panels? Because sub panels are going to help distribute the power and future needs. So right here we put a 125 amp square D home line panel, and you can see that I have 4 slots still available. This panel only feeds the office, which is above the garage. And this also feeds the air conditioned system that I have up here that's completely dedicated and separated from the rest of the house, along with the FAU, the forced air unit in the attic. The rest of these are dedicated outlets, which I put all over the area where I knew the desks would be. I also ran all the Cat 5 and brought in my networking over here. Now, nothing's really finished because we still haven't moved in, believe it or not, but sub panels are key. Let's go downstairs and take a look at the garage sub panel and why we put one in the garage. A lot of people like putting sub panels in mud rooms or laundry rooms as well. I didn't do one in here because I really needed a sub panel in the garage. And why in the garage? Well, first and foremost, EVs, electric car chargers, they're coming. I didn't know what I was going to put into the garage, but I do know that this is Montana and a lot of people have shop equipment. Excuse the mess. As I said, we're still moving in. Right there in the corner, we dropped in a 150 amp sub panel because I knew I was going to use at least 40 to 50 amps for an electric car charger in the future. And if I was going to do solar on the roof, which I am, that's going to come and drop in and backfeed through this sub panel. That's also feeding through some empty conduits to all corners of this garage in case I get an RV. RVs take 30 amp 240 volt circuits sometimes, or 120 volt. I wanted to make sure I was future proof for that. Let's take a look at the third sub panel down in the mechanical room. And here we have another 200 amp fed sub panel in the mechanical room that takes care of all the FAUs and everything down in the mechanical room, including 2 electrical water heaters. Let's go outside and let me tell you one of the biggest upgrades you should be doing for customers in 2023. All right, well, when we decided to build the house, we were okay. We were just at the top end of having a 200 amp service, but there's no way I'm gonna do that as an electrical contractor. So your biggest upgrade you can offer on houses this side, where they have actually 3 condenser units, electric charger, and who knows what in the future, you gotta upgrade to a 400 amp panel. Now, 400 amp panels are a must. I also have distribution in this panel. So I've got 2 50 amp breakers feeding the 2 5-ton condenser unit heat pumps from Mitsubishi out here. Now, what happened with this one is I had to get Rivali County Electric or Rivali Electric to come in and upgrade my transformer. So I did have to pay for the transformer upgrade and the wire, but I got it from the pedestal, which you can see right over there. Transferred over here to my wall, where I now have distribution here with 1 200 amp breaker and another 150 amp breaker feeding the garage sub panel and feeding that panel in the mechanical room. In the 400 amp panel, you already know that you have 200 amps feeding that bus bar, and you have a separate 200 amp. That separate lone breaker goes directly into the mechanical room. The other 200 feeds into the garage, which then sub feeds up to the upstairs loft that you saw. Sub panels and panel upgrades are a must in 2023. I hope you're doing them. Now, let's get to my final advice on what I did here in this house, and that's home automation. All right, my third advice is home automation. These are the garage lights, and we've got some porch lights. What owner of a house doesn't want these on a timer? Of course they do. Well, for a reasonable price, whether you go with the Fights from Costco or you go with my favorite, which is the Leviton Cressetta system, you got home automation that you can upgrade to a client, make a lot of extra money. You want garage lights on? Not a problem. You hit a button, garage lights come on. You hit a button, they turn off. You can also automate it so it turns on at dusk and turns off at sunset, or whatever you want to do through the customer app, and it's controlled from all over the world. With Lutron home automation, like the Pico dimmers, you could put a main switch on the wall. Your Pico dimmer could go ahead and turn off and on the lights, just like that. It's such a huge upgrade. You need to be offering this in 2023. My final tip, is security cameras. Let's go. Security cameras are a must in 2023, especially if you're living in those big cities, because crime and theft is on the rise. This is one of the biggest upsells you can do for a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 upsell on a brand new construction or remodel. Are you offering them? PTZ cameras are a great way to go if you want to pan, tilt, and zoom. I put this one in here so when I'm not here, I can still enjoy the wildlife here in Montana. Right through the cell phone, they can monitor their cameras and they can record and they can take pictures, send it to police, and do whatever they need to do. Ring doorbells are great, but actual security cameras that are tied into a DVR are the way to go in 2023. Hey, I hope you like the videos, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.